The Android platform has evolved a lot when it comes to games, maybe because the gameplay is a bit simpler yet extremely addictive and cut with incredible replayability. In this list made for roguelike lovers, today we're going to talk about some very well known titles and a few you probably didn't even know existed, and all of them are fully offline, so drop a like and come with me. YOHANE the PARHELIon is a curious case because it's not just a game but a spin-off of a very popular anime, and of course we're going to talk about it now. The combat is focused on managing your energy points to play attack, defense, and utility cards. The main charm comes from the fact that YOHANE is a seer, which allows her to summon her friends, the other members of a course. They function as ultra powerful cards with special 3D animations. While most card-based roguelikes rely on static 2D sprites, YOHANE the PARHELIon, Numazu in the Mirage goes all in on a fully 3D presentation with very stylish and well-animated battle scenes. The game isn't just about finishing a run. It features multiple layers of progression, such as unlocking outfits for your character and crafting new amulet items that help you during battles. This is the game where you can literally end up feeling like Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Let's talk about a game with frenetic gameplay, Wizard of Legend. In Wizard of Legend, you don't use weapons, you use arcana. Before each run, you choose your basic spell, your dodge ability, a standard spell, and a special spell. There are spells based on fire, water, earth, air, lightning, and the rare chaos element. The fun comes from discovering how a wind spell can push enemies into a fire explosion you just summoned. Unlike many other roguelikes, the game has no auto-aim, which makes combat more aggressive and demands real skill from the player. The game also features several bosses, and even though runs are random, these bosses will always show up trying to take you down. Another unique aspect is that it includes a cooperative mode with two mages playing together at the same time, and it also offers a very fun PvP mode. This was the first roguelike I remember that truly became a massive hit, even though it looks very simple. Let's talk about Vampire Survivors. It's famous for being extremely cheap or even free on mobile and insanely addictive. Here's what you need to know. The game is relatively simple and doesn't rely on anything overly complex. The more gems you collect, the more abilities your character gains. The game features a weapon evolution system. When a weapon like the whip is paired with its corresponding passive items such as the heart, opening a boss chest will evolve that weapon into a devastating new version. Dying is part of the plan because the gold you collect is used to buy permanent upgrades like increased damage or additional projectiles. On top of that, the game is full of secrets. There are hidden characters and secret stages that require specific actions or even finding invisible items on the map. Perhaps one of the most famous roguelikes in the world and also one of the most addictive. Let's talk now about the legendary Slay the Spire. Developed by Megacrit, it is the most influential deck-building roguelike of all time. If Dead Cells is all about intense combat, this game is all about strategy. You choose one of 4 characters and try to climb the tower. You start with a basic deck made up of attack and defend cards. After every victory, you choose a new card to add to your deck. The biggest difference is that you always know what the enemy is going to do on the next turn, whether it's attacking, defending, or applying a debuff. This turns the game into a constant puzzle where you decide if you should spend your energy attacking or protecting yourself. Each character has completely different mechanics, making it feel like you're playing 4 different games in one. One of the roguelikes with the best story on our list and a very clear way for you to actually finish its story mode. Let's talk about Skull the Hero Slayer. Instead of being the hero trying to save the world, you play as Skull, a small skeleton who is the sole survivor of the Demon King's castle after a devastating human attack. Your mission is to fight back against the human army and rescue the Demon King. It's a fun and clever parody of traditional RPGs. The biggest standout feature is that you can rip off your own head and replace it with the skulls of fallen warriors. This mechanic completely changes your run, as each skull gives your character totally different abilities. You can equip up to 2 skulls at the same time and even combine them. There's a huge variety ranging from a mage, skeleton, and a ninja to references inspired by other franchises, like a skull reminiscent of Ghost Rider or one that fights in a style similar to Kratos from God of War. If I'm not mistaken, Metaverse Keeper was first released on Nintendo Switch, and it carries a much cuter roguelike style while still offering a solid level of difficulty. Let's talk about it now. The game takes place in the Metaverse, a reality distorted by a cosmic event. You choose between 4 heroes from different universes, each one with a very distinct playstyle. Just like the cards in Dandy Ace or the synergies in Enter the Gungeon, the secret to power here lies in the chips. During a run, you find these chips, which grant both passive and active abilities, and the interesting part is that you can create different combinations and builds in every run. Although it can be played solo, Metaverse Keeper was clearly designed to be played with friends. The game supports cooperative play with up to 4 players, and features a revival system that lets teammates bring each other back, making the experience much lighter and more fun. Also quite unknown on Android, let's talk about one of the most punishing roguelikes on our list, Lovecraft Untold Stories. The game is an action roguelite with a top-down perspective. You explore iconic locations inspired by the works of H.P. Lovecraft, such as Victorian mansions, abandoned hospitals, and forgotten jungles, while facing cultists and indescribable entities. You don't just play as a single generic character. The game unlocks characters with completely different playstyles and storylines, like a witch focused on magic, or even a professor who fights using technology-based weapons. This is where the game truly stands out. Beyond your physical health, you also need to manage your sanity. To recover your sanity, you must find specific physical items, and the more you understand the monsters you face, the worse your mental state becomes. Lost in Fantaland sits right in the middle of everything else on our list. It's a roguelite that blends deck building with a strategic gameplay system, and let's talk about it now. Unlike many card games where you and the enemy just stand still facing each other, in Lost in Fantaland, positioning is everything. Well, you use cards not only to attack but also to move around the battlefield. There are traps, obstacles, and even weather variations that affect the board. You can push an enemy into a trap or use the terrain to block a line of sight. The game features 6 distinct classes. Each class completely changes your starting deck and the way you interact with the grid. And there are over 300 cards that you can add to your deck. Probably the ugliest roguelike on our list, but also one of the most addictive. Let's talk about Halls of Torment. The first thing that really stands out is the visuals. It uses pre-rendered 3D sprites that perfectly capture the feeling of late 1990s PC RPGs. Like most Survivors-style games, your basic attacks are usually automatic, and your main focus is positioning so you don't get surrounded by thousands of enemies. As you level up during a run, you choose upgrades that define your build, such as more damage, attack speed, area of effect, and more. However, unlike games such as Wizard of Legend, progression in Halls of Torment is much more subtle, often offering small upgrades like 10% more health or 10% more attack per upgrade. That said, it features an RPG-like inventory and equipment system, which ends up being a major differentiator and adds a lot of depth to the experience. Gunfire Reborn is the most different game on our list because it's a very well made roguelike that doesn't really lack anything. However, as you can see, it's an FPS, and let's talk about it. You play as anthropomorphic animals, and each one has specific abilities. For example, the cat focuses on elemental damage and crowd control, while the dog can wield 2 weapons at the same time. During a run, you collect occult scrolls, which are passive items, and choose ascensions, which are skill upgrades that drastically change how your character plays. While many games on our list shine in solo modes, Gunfire Reborn truly shines in co-op for up to 4 players. And the best part is that the difficulty scales with the number of players, keeping the challenge consistently high. When you die or complete a run, you spend this currency on a permanent talent tree that improves your health, damage, and economy. Gordian Quest changes the pace. It's a turn-based card RPG that blends deep strategy with a touch of roguelike elements, and we're going to talk about it now. Gordian Quest is ambitious. It tries to combine 3 core ideas: a very impressive card game that represents your attacks and abilities, a tactical grid-based combat system where positioning is vital, and roguelike mechanics that make replayability incredibly strong. Unlike the games we've talked about so far where you control a single character, here you manage a team of 3 heroes. There are a total of 10 playable characters from different classes, and the synergy between them is extremely important. And unlike other games on our list, Gordian Quest features multiple game modes, including a full campaign mode with a lot of story. This game is insanely popular on PC and finally arrived on Android in 2025, and honestly, it might look simple at first glance. Let's talk about Enter the Gungeon. You choose between several Gungeon explorers, each one with a past they deeply regret. They enter the Gungeon, a living and ever-changing fortress in search of a legendary treasure, the gun that can kill the past. Its core mechanic is the dodge roll. During the roll, you become invulnerable to bullets. Mastering the timing of this move is the difference between victory and death. Almost every area has tables you can flip over to use as temporary cover, showing how well the game uses its environments. The game features hundreds of weapons and items, and humor is one of its strongest points. You'll find guns that shoot unicorns or fire rainbows to defeat enemies, and just like Elemental World, synergy between items and weapons is extremely important here as well. One of those games that's a bit more unknown on Android but absolutely worth playing because of how it mixes different elements is Elemental World. The main appeal of Elemental World is its creative freedom. You don't just press a button to attack, you combine elements. You can mix up to 3 elements out of a total of 6, such as fire, water, earth, air, and more, to create different spells. Unlike Dead Cells, where the character is always the same, here you choose classes that completely change the way you play, from a classic mage to a ninja or even an archer that uses elemental arrows. The game also features a multiplayer mode where you can play with one friend. It works almost the same way as offline, but in a true cooperative experience. Released by Motion Twin, Dead Cells is widely considered one of the best games of the last decade, and of course, we're going to talk about it here as well. You control an immortal mass of cells known as the Prisoner that possesses decapitated corpses to explore a cursed island. If you die, you lose all the weapons and gold you collected during that run and return to the beginning. What you don't lose are the cells invested in permanent upgrades and the blueprints that unlock new weapons to appear in future runs. The combat is extremely responsive and fast, easily one of the best in the roguelike genre. There are hundreds of weapons, ranging from standard ones like swords to unexpected options like frying pans, along with abilities divided into 3 colors for better clarity and build planning. Dandy Ace is an action roguelike heavily inspired by Hades. Developed in Brazil, it features a magic-themed setting and a creative combat system. Let's talk about it now. You play as Ace, a fabulous magician who has been trapped inside a cursed mirror by his rival, the green-eyed illusionist Lele. To escape, Ace must face several shifting environments, defeat bosses, and deal with Lele's constant jokes as he narrates and mocks your progress throughout the game. What really sets Dandy Ace apart is how you build your attacks. Instead of fixed weapons, you use magical cards. You can combine these cards and create almost infinite synergies, and that's exactly what makes Dandy Ace feel unique. When you die, you lose your current cards, but you keep fragments that can be used to permanently unlock new cards. That's it for today. These are some of the best offline roguelikes on Android right now. If you like replayability and real challenge, this list is for you. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.